I'm a 32-year-old man who cut ties with my father's family 12 years ago, a decision rooted in the turmoil that followed his remarriage. My parents split when I was 10, no longer in love. As a kid, I was shattered and confused, often acting out in anger. We went to family therapy, where my mom tried to understand my perspective, but my dad took a more resigned approach, accepting life as it unfolded. This made me closer to my mom, and I only stayed with my dad for short periods, but when I was 14, my mom passed away in a tragic accident, forcing me to live with my father full-time. Those were the darkest days of my life, made worse because I felt alone in my grief. My dad was already dating Beth, now 49, and they got engaged around the time of my mom's death. He was fully focused on his future with Beth, showing no signs of mourning, which left me feeling isolated as a teenager. Beth was overbearing, expecting me to follow her rules and trying to step into a motherly role. I resisted. She could never replace my mom in just months. To make matters worse, she openly favored her son from a previous relationship, Josh, now 30. She pulled strings to get him better spots on the football team or bigger roles in school plays, always putting him first. Josh sometimes called her out, but he still benefited from her meddling. My teenage years were a struggle, grappling with my mom's loss, a father who never challenged Beth, and a stepbrother who was distant and awkward around me. I kept my head down, determined to leave after college. I attended UNC, staying in state to save money, and lived with my dad and his family. I paid some rent and helped with groceries, so I wasn't freeloading. Tensions spiked when I started dating Laura, now 31, during college. I brought her home often, introduced her to the family, and it became clear Josh had a crush on her. I confronted him privately, asking him to stop acting strangely around her, but his feelings didn't fade. At first, I thought it was a passing infatuation, but it grew intense. Josh's grades slipped. He botched his SAT prep, and he moped around like a lovesick teen. I tried to be the bigger person, limiting Laura's visits to avoid conflict, but Josh's obsession persisted. Apparently, he confided in Beth, who decided I was to blame for his distress. She convinced my dad to issue an ultimatum. One day, my dad sat me down and said, "Son, we agreed you could stay here during college, but things have changed. Beth and I think you're disrupting Josh with your activities and the people you bring over. We need to set new boundaries." Confused, I asked if my friends were a bad influence or if I was being too loud. He clarified, "No, it's about Josh's feelings for Laura. We think you should end things with her to keep peace in the family. A girlfriend shouldn't come before your brother's well-being." I burst out laughing. It was absurd. Still chuckling, I replied, "Sure, Dad. I'll just ditch a great relationship because Josh can't handle rejection. I've already told him his behavior makes Laura uncomfortable, and I barely bring her here anymore. What's the real issue?" I suspected Beth was behind this, trying to appease Josh's obsession. The conversation exploded into a huge argument, and I chose Laura. I packed my things, moved out, and changed my phone number. I crashed at a friend's place before moving in with Laura, my fiancée at the time. Thankfully, my scholarship covered college, and I worked hard to afford rent and utilities. I cut all contact with my dad's family, only staying close with a few relatives on my mom's side. 12 years later, Laura and I are happily married, love our careers, and recently bought our first home. We're now trying for a baby. Leaving that toxic environment was the best choice I ever made. But recently, Josh showed up at my house, throwing me into a spiral of old memories. Stunned, I let him in to talk. He knew bits of my life from social media and explained his visit. He admitted his obsession with Laura and Beth's role in it, but claimed he never wanted me to leave. Beth, he said, was relieved when I left, and the house felt cold afterward. They moved out of state soon after, something I didn't know. Josh felt guilty about my departure and had moved past his feelings for Laura. But his mental health suffered, leading him to drop out of college and drift, doing odd jobs and hitchhiking. He asked for help settling in my area, maybe a job at my workplace. I explained that would be tough without qualifications, but he insisted I owed him for leaving him with our dysfunctional family, calling us brothers despite our distance. Laura wants no contact with my family, but suggested we help him somehow. I'm torn. I don't feel I owe him, but seeing him struggle is hard. After reflecting, I decided to offer Josh temporary housing and encourage him to find work independently. I'm unsure about a real relationship, but I don't owe him for his struggles. I did what was best for me. Months later, Josh is thriving in our town. He's a junior manager at Walmart and attending night school for a degree. The money we gave helped. Seeing him now makes me want to connect, but I still grapple with his claim that I owe him for leaving. My mom's relatives suggested confronting him. I talked to Josh, explaining he shouldn't expect anything from me for moving out. He's grown into a decent guy and deserves my support. He apologized for the unfair pressure and thanked me for helping. Laura's softened toward him after his apology for his past behavior. He's welcome in our home now, but we both resent Beth and my dad. Beth's the real asshole for enabling Josh's obsession. NTA and Josh isn't either now. We both need to heal from our toxic parents. Is Josh no contact with them? Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories. Get more experiences.